Yes, that's right. A week has passed since the last episode of Show Us Your Cat, which means it must be time for the next episode of Show Us Your Cat on Joyrider TV. Very exciting times as always. I'm coming to you from Wildwind in Vasiliki on the Greek island of Lefkos. We're expecting some more champagne conditions this afternoon. What's happened this week? Not a huge amount. I think the main sailing event this week was another expedition on the Hobie 14 where I did get it above 20 knots, which I'm pretty sure it's my first time doing it over 20 knots on the 14, so quite pleased with that. Bigger speeds to come. I felt that she had more to give, and all we have to do is persuade her to give more. But that's not what we're here for right now. We're here for Show Us Your Cat, where we'll be taking a look at your boats and where it is that you sail them. So let's dive straight in and have a look at what we're looking at this week on this week's Show Us Your Cat on Joyrider TV. So we're starting off this week in Germany. Near to Rosenheim is the Lake Simsee, where we have Max. The first cat that Max had was an inflatable Happy Cat Neo. Here we can see Max in action on his Happy Cat. These inflatable catamarans are very practical and they solve a lot of your storage problems with your boat, as you can just deflate them and store them in quite small spaces. So if you have got storage problems and you need a catamaran, which of course you do, then something like the Happy Cat is a good solution. Then yes, last year in May, Max came to Wildwind on holiday and was obviously quite inspired with the catamaran sailing. So he bought a Dart 15 Sprint, which we can see here with the original sails. And then we can see it here with this fantastic looking black Mylar, I should think, sail. The Dart 15 is the smaller version of the Dart 18, designed for one person or for two perhaps lighter people. The Sprint version has a taller mast and is more powerful than the original version, and it is a really nice boat, very quick. Perhaps if you compare it to a Hobie 14, it's a lot easier to sail than the 14, but the short bows on the Sprint will still punish you with an exciting pitch pole if you start thinking that it won't. Now on the lake, on Simsee, where Max is sailing, there is a small issue in that they either have almost no wind at all, or it's stormy conditions where the wind is pretty challenging. So Max has been having an exciting time there. He's just bought a Taipan 4.9, which I believe is an Australian design from Goodall, which is before Goodall is making the boats that we're familiar with now, like the C2 and the Viper. The Taipan was the popular boat from Goodall Design in Australia. So well done, Max. Good to see you flying the flag there in Rosenheim, and keep up the great sailing, and hopefully we'll be seeing you out here at Wildwind again soon. Next we're heading to England, to Graffham Water, which is a large reservoir to the north of London, where we have Stephen, and Stephen has recently acquired a fantastic looking Hobie 16 called Dukes of Hazzard. Stephen was fortunate enough to find this boat for just £1,600. He's had to spend a bit of money on it and do quite a bit of cleaning up of the boat. He's had the hulls repaired and he's had a new custom-made trampoline for the boat, but the sails were as crispy as they look here when he bought the boat, and I think you'll agree these sails look fantastic. I think there's a chance that these sails were specific to Hobiecat Europe. Perhaps they weren't actually from the Hobie USA sail catalogue, and I think these are the ones which were called the anniversary sails. If anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, I would appreciate that, but I couldn't find these ones on the colour chart. And here is an absolute innovation that Stephen has done with his jib travellers, where he can control both jib travellers with the single line just by adding an extra block and an extra cleat. This is quite an innovation. So thanks very much, Stephen, for sending us that video and the picture of your 16. We hope you have a great time sailing it. Plenty more capsizes to come, I'm sure. Next, this week we're heading back to Germany, to Stuttgart, where we have Jochen, who has a Hobie 18 SE with the Magnum wings. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of sailing opportunities around Stuttgart, so Jochen prefers to take his boat to either the Mediterranean or to Lake Garda to do his sailing there. But here we can see the boat in all of its glory. Hot pink is its name, which might have something to do with these fantastic looking sails. And the Magnum wings really do turn the boat from a hot rod into an absolute beast. When you're trapezing off the Magnum wings, you feel like you're quite a long way from the boat, and it absolutely flies. Jochen's 18 has also got the EPO rudders, so stiff, so crisp, and he's got a spinnaker on there as well, just to really turn on the heat on the downwind legs. Jochen's been doing some pretty exciting stuff with his 18. Here is one of the stops on a recent camping trip he took around Elba Island off Italy, where they were just going from one beach to the next, sleeping on the boat and just taking on the hospitality of wherever it was that they put the boat. And here we are with this video of the guys absolutely sending it. Lovely times all round on that 18. You may be wondering why I never feature the Hobie 18 Classic from Wildwind. The only reason is because we don't have one. The Hobie 18 is an absolute rude boy, and if you're lucky enough to come across one and have a go on one, definitely get involved. So thanks very much, Jochen, for sending us those pictures and video of your absolutely stunning Hobie 18. So there we go, what an absolutely cooking collection of boats featured this week on Show Us Your Cat. If you'd like to be featured in an upcoming episode of Show Us Your Cat, then yes you can. All you need to do is send me some pictures, maybe some video of your boat with some information such as where it is that you go sailing and perhaps who it is that you go sailing with. Do try to give me the names of anybody featured in any photographs, because it'll give them that special feeling inside when they hear that they're getting a mention on Show Us Your Cat. These days, it is a massive deal to get a mention on Show Us Your Cat. Yeah, all the information of what you need to do is just in the description below of the video, as is all the information that you need if you want to get involved and enter onto the Speed Stick. The global Speed Stick competition is really hotting up now as people are coming out of lockdown, getting back out on the water. There's some big speeds coming in. The big news, if you hadn't caught it, was there is certainly a new sheriff in town on the Hobie 16 leaderboard with Dave, who we featured with his boat Sledder on Show Us Your Cat a few weeks ago. has just put in a big speed there, so check that out in the link below. I've actually decided that I'm gonna start my own personal stick with all my top speeds, having just got what I thought was quite a good one on the 14. I thought I should practice what I'm preaching and actually do it for myself as well. And something else we're gonna do, if it's of interest to you at all, is I'm gonna have a Vasiliki speed stick running all of the time, because Vasiliki is possibly one of the easiest places to sail fast on the planet. So I think when people are coming out here, rather than putting them onto the main speed stick, just to have a separate speed stick, otherwise it could happen that speeds from here might start dominating the stick, which wouldn't be fair to everybody else. So that was my idea there. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Put it in the comments below. Is that a good idea? I think it is, and that's what I think. So that's about the size of it at this time. Very exciting times as we're counting down to opening day here at Wild Wind, where we'll be having much more sailing going on every day of the week. But thanks very much for watching. Do give the video a like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. There's all sorts of things coming every day pretty much on Joyrider TV. And if you're new to Joyrider TV, there is a huge amount in the archives. Again, in the description below, you'll find a complete list of all of the videos that have been on Joyrider TV. A lot of instructional videos, tutorials, information, useful things if you are into catamaran sailing. So finally, as ever, thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel, especially for those of you who've been supporting the channel through Patreon, or anybody who's sent me a telephone or perhaps a printing machine, or if you've bought a t-shirt from totaljoyrider.com, then this is great. Thanks very much. It really is helping a lot. Other than that, we'll see you again next week with more Show Us Your Cat. Get involved if you've got a catamaran and you'd like us to see it, then we need to see it. So get it in the post. Thank you very much.